Well, okay, Jake, you ready for the show?
I am. Good week.
The show is getting interesting because Halloween is in the offing. Well, let's talk first a number. The number this week is 39, and that is the number of points that were scored by the average. The average winner scored 39, down from 40, but still quite a bit of offense.
Yeah, I mean, there are a ton of teams. You know, I think we only had a couple close games this week.
Yeah, I think within 10 points, there were only 4 games.
Yeah.
So a lot of blowouts, a lot of teams being dominant, and a lot of teams really struggling.
Yeah, and I think we were at those games that they were actually close.
Close games. We went to McAllen, PSJA, and then Donna and Baylor were both good defensive, hard-hitting football games. You know, we talk a lot about the offense here on the show, and it's exciting to see the highlights, which we're going to get to in a second. But the bottom line is, and the old bromide is what? Defense wins championships. Defense wins district. We've got 3 or 4 of the best defenses around we're going to showcase today. Talk about Harlingen South. They finally gave up a couple of touchdowns, but still won 48-14. Edinburgh North, Sherryland, Harlingen. You throw in PI and Etcash, you've got some of the best defenses in the valley, and it's no surprise that those teams are right near the top of the standing.
Yeah, you know, and I like that mantra, defense wins championships. But I think we have to remember is when we get into the playoffs, our size doesn't compare with some of the teams.
Yeah.
And we need to be able to score as well.
You got to be able to score, but you also got to be able to stop people. So the teams that can do both, generally speaking, will be our best representatives in the postseason. Well, we're not to the postseason yet, but it's mid-October, guys, and then we're starting to be able to really draw some lines and separate some teams and figure out who's going to be where. In order for us to really, truly understand the picture, let's take a quick look at what happened last week with Carlos Robledo.
3As begin district play. PI, the #1 team in the Valley versus Progreso. Jacob Lozoya, 85 yards here. He had 220 yards rushing. PI 62, Progreso 21. Raymondville versus Gruya, the long pass and the catch, 35-21. Raymondville wins. Rio Hondo versus La Feria, check out the long run here. Bobcats win by a final score of 40-27 in 32-3. Those are your look at your Week 6 highlights.
Well, the 3A picture is starting to come a little bit more clear, but before we get off on talking about PI, I think Rio Hondo is the team of the week in 3A.
Yeah, I mean, they lost to Lifer the week before.
The 4th loss in a row.
Yeah, and you would think, okay, this isn't their year. And then they come back, first game of district. I mean, it's a small district. The first game of district, every game counts.
Yep.
And they get the victory.
40-27. Look, Eli Pitones, the baseball player. They got a bunch of baseball players in that team, like Edinburgh North. He ran 80 and 67 yards for touchdowns in the second quarter. Rio Hondo led 21-0. You know how many yards they had for the game?
How many?
579. That is a ton of yards. Rio Hondo has resurrected the season. Now, what does that do for La Feria, though? They were looking really good, and all of a sudden, even though Cuervo threw for 300 again, I think he's one of the best quarterbacks around, they gave up too many points.
Yeah, they did. And you know, the thing is, I don't know what at the beginning of the year, I'm like, boy, this team they're going to give PI some trouble.
Yeah.
But they've been really down this year. I mean, they've been playing down though. They haven't won the games I thought they'd win.
Well, they're going to have to win this week against Port Isabel on the road. Now, I think La Feria still has a shot because Cuervo, if you watch Cuervo, man, there's a big kid. He stands in the pocket. He's got 4 or 5 good receivers. They're going to have to score because PI put 61 on Progressive. That team's looking strong. Man.
Yeah, and the thing is their defense is good too. So, you're going to throw on PI. The question is, who you're going to throw to, because sometimes it's going to be their linebacker, sometimes it's going to be their corner.
You see Montelongo's interception?
Yes.
Yeah, that was amazing. I'll tell you the kid on the defense that I want to highlight. Everybody knows about Guilla, Montelongo, Gordo Garza. Marco Colorado. What a name. It sounds like it should be a gunslinger, right? He got 6 interceptions, man. They got a lot of kids on that defense. They really do.
And the thing is, you don't know, who's guarding who because, they drop back. They drop back a lineman and, they're bringing the linebacker in, and they're that athletic.
People think that sometimes 3A football is, just line up and run at somebody. No, Port Isabel does a lot of things that are pretty innovative. And I'll tell you what they do. They'll load the backfield and they'll send both backs out to lead block. And I'll tell you who's a great blocker is Aguilera, 22. He'll knock you on your butt. Man, I like that kid. Oh, yeah. Lozoya is tough. Gonzalez is tough. Did you see the catch Miguel Ramirez made, number 90? That guy's athletic, man. He's tough.
Yeah, he came out there. I thought I didn't know if he had a heart attack or whatever. He was laying on the ground, but they're athletic. I mean, they run stuff kind of like the Patriots. Let's put a lineman in.
Yeah, and then what they'll do is they'll go this way and that throwback screen. LB Bennett to the house, man. That's the call they make out there at Port Isabel. That's a good team. LaFerrier better get ready because that's going to be a tough game. Okay, so Rio Hondo now off of that great win, and we say that that's the team of the week. They play a Hidalgo team who they've got one win on the year. They seem to be in kind of not turmoil per se, but they can play better. Will they play better this week? They really need to get a win in district.
Yeah, they do. And Hidalgo's down.
Yeah.
We can't really sugarcoat it that much, but they're down. This is one of those wins. If they don't get it, it's a major upset.
Well, if you're 0-2 in a 4-game slate, then you have to win the next 2, and they have not played PI yet, so they definitely need to get it done. Rio Hondo, I think, on the other hand, it's the exact opposite situation. They start out with a win. This is a winnable game. If you go to 2-0, then you're looking pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, they're still going to play Progresso. They're still going to play who else?
The Red Ants are off this week, and I'll tell you what, though, they did put 3 touchdowns up on the board against PI, so that's no mean feat in itself. Yeah. Okay, let's talk now about 31-3. Let's go a little bit further west. Although some of those teams are in Wellesley County, it's one of those spread out things. I still can't figure it out. Please come realignment. Anyway, Raymondville had a great effort against Gruya. They won 35-14, I believe it was. Are you surprised? 35-21, pardon me.
Yeah. I was surprised because, Gruya was on a roll. I mean, they played PI tough, and you figured, okay.
Beat Rio Hondo 30-0. They were playing good defense.
Yeah. You just kind of figured, okay, Gruya's going to come in there. They're going to control ball. They're going to control tempo, time. Not the case.
Well, you cannot control Valladares because that guy's one of the best backs in the valley. We've already talked about the 200-yard guys. He was one last week with 290. He had 5 touchdowns. I think he had all the touchdowns. No, Akers had one. Romeo Rosales, Spencer Akers. The quarterback's tough. They got some good defensive efforts too. Raymondville hadn't stopped people that well, 23 points a game, but they stopped Gruya pretty well. Gruya also, as I understand, made some mistakes and they missed some chances. But Raymondville has to be pleased with a win like that.
Yeah, I mean it's a major win. Your first game in district.
1-0, 5-2 now is
and that
Raymondville.
district is really tough.
Because you got Lyford is coming on. Lyford was off. They have Gruya now, though. Gruya gets a home game against Lyford. They're going to get a chance to reestablish that defense. They get Scott Arnold, who's had a couple of great games in a row.
Yeah, and I think what you're going to see is, talk about really different programs. Gruya's going to want to run it, and Lyford's going to sling that ball.
Choom, choom. They got it. Now, I wonder if JT Luna is back. That kid, he was hurt last week or didn't play. They've got another guy, the coach's kid. They've got some weapons, man. That's going to be an interesting game. Is Lyford on the ascendancy like we think? And wither Gruya, as it were. I feel like they're going to have a good effort and get back into the mix here at 1-1.
Yeah.
Now, Kingsville 1-0, 5-2 at the top of that district. They got some exciting athletes. They'll give up some points and they'll make some turnovers, but that's going to be an interesting game. October 25th when you see Kingsville and Raymondville, by the way.
Yeah, and you have to wonder, is Zapata out of this? Are they out of it already? Or, because, it was a tough loss.
Well, it is a tough loss, and that's who Raymondville has next. They got killed by Kingsville, did Zapata. They got that good back. Raymondville better not sleep because, like you said, when you play 4 games in the district season, a loss can be very detrimental to one's success rate.
Yeah, and then that district, you can lose to just about any team on there.
Yeah, well, and I'm going to get out to a 3A game before long. I was almost at Raymondville, Gruya. I can't be in 2 places at once, people, but we get to see so many video highlights that I feel like I was at all the ball games.
Yeah.
That's a fun thing. All right, so speaking of 3A, let's take a look at and give some a paean and an ode to Joe Gonzalez over here at Raymondville because they had a great season, or a great game last week.
Yeah, they did.
There you go, right there. Good job, good job, good job.
Tell you what, it was a big victory because it's our first district game, and being a small district with 4 district games, it's really important that you win the first one. You don't want to fall into a hole right away, so it was crucial victory for us.
Put this win into perspective for the viewers.
This win that we just had.
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Gruya was coming in with a 5-1 record, and we were going in with a 4-2. They had the best defense in our district so far, and we were worried about it, and I challenged our kids, we're facing the best, let's play how we're capable of playing, and Friday night, we had a total of 400 and I think it was 460 yards total offense, and Jesse scored 4 touchdowns, and so we met that challenge. Kids were excited, and they're working hard for our next opponent, which is Zapata. Zapata's going to be real strong too. They're big and strong.
What makes running back Jesse Valladares so good?
Jesse's got just talent. That's all talent in Jesse's part. Line will block for him, but Jesse, does the rest. And Jesse's just a dedicated player. When we first spotted him in the junior high, we knew he was going to be something special. And right now as a senior, he's living up to those expectations. Our team is is maturing as the year goes on, and they've shown it in the games that we've had, and got a lot of kids stepping in to replace some of the seniors from last year, and they've stepped it up, and they've met that challenge, and it's shown in the victories that we've had so far.
Well, man, we're back for the wrap-up. Greg Selber with Jake Berry, the show. We hope you're checking us out. Spread the word, because we feel like we're doing a pretty good job of telling you what happened and setting you up for the next week. We don't want to get out of here without doing two things. One is naming our sponsors.
Yeah, I'd like to thank McDonald's, the Payne Auto Group, for helping us with this. South Texas College.
Yeah, man.
And, we've got a ton of people that make this possible. We couldn't do it without you guys.
And we're not going to name them all. It's not going to be like the Academy Awards. I want to thank my third grade teacher because she didn't kick me out. We will be back next week to tell you all the results, all the stats, all the highlights, and there may even be a chance of me being more articulate than I have been this week. What do you think? We'll try that. Later.